You know, I find it absolutely fitting that I am wearing a red t shirt, considering who shows up in this episode. I find it very nice and fitting that I'm wearing red for this. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strong from QuickTime Reactions, and yep, it's Sunday, which means we're going to be talking about it. Welcome to Derry. And this time we are talking about the brand new episode that has dropped, episode number 5, which is Nebolt Street. This one was written by Brad Caleb Kane and was directed by Emmanuel Osai Kufor Jr. I may be mispronouncing his name on that one, so I do apologize if that is the case. But they are the duo that wrote and directed this episode, respectively. And in this episode, now that the military now has the information that they need, they are going to go to 28 Nebolt Street and go down into the sewers to try and find these so-called pillars that is keeping this entity in Derry, trapped in Derry, essentially. Meanwhile, with the kids, they are also going to try and go into the sewers to try and confront this thing head on and maybe even see if they can, try and maybe save their friends that might still be down there. So, will paths cross? And how many times are they going to encounter the entity? So, this series, in my opinion, is just gotten better and better and better and better. This one right here is probably my favorite episode out of the bunch because there was a lot of stuff in this that was revealed. First off, Marge and Lily, they kissed and made up at the beginning of this episode. But the more impressive thing was, and this I believe was like right before the opening title card, or the opening intro played. Maddie is alive. Yeah, Maddie was able to survive the sewers and actually avoid it and actually make it. And he tells them what he experienced in the sewer, and he's like, if I go and tell the cops what I saw, they're going to take me home. And I would rather spend my time in the sewer than what I experienced at my house, which says something. But Ronnie is, not at her wit's end, but she's getting really, really close because, well, her dad is getting transported to Shawshank, as we see in this episode. Even, a dude that, is mad and is like, you're gonna pay for what you did with my kids. He ran up, tried to shoot Hank. That didn't work out. But Hank was able to get on. I say this with, remorse because he didn't do anything. But he did get on the bus and is being transported to Shawshank. Meanwhile, Lily has a conversation with this character named Ingrid. Cannot find the actor's name. Let me see here. Yeah, no, I can't find the actress's name. that is attached to it. But they have a nice little conversation. And Lily decides to make the decision of, like, we're going to go down into the sewers to see if, you know, our friends are still there. And I love the analogy that she used. As, like, someone once told me that, when you go on a big journey, or if you, it's like going on a big journey is like going out in a boat. It's like your friends could either be a boat or could be an anchor. So it's like, which one are you guys? And everyone says that they are the lifeboat. And, she'd brought, what she calls mommy's little helper. And they each take 3, and I'm like, these kids are gonna OD on these. They're gonna OD on these pills. I'm just like, oh my god. So they take them and they go into the sewer. Meanwhile, the military is getting ready for their mission into going into the sewers to try and find these pillars, with Daniel there with the object from way back in the day when learning about the mythology, the weapon that halted this entity from spreading. Daniel has it. But, excuse me, when he tries to evade the military, he ends up dropping it somewhere and is not able to find it, and basically makes his escape throughout the sewers. Meanwhile, also on the military side, Halloran has his own little episode where he's transported back to his grandma and grandpa's house, and his grandpa is not a nice figure in Dick's life, and is basically, holding this box and is like, a power like this needs to be used, not boxed up. And Halloran is doing every single thing he can to, like, not have that box open. But, of course, this is, Pennywise being Pennywise. He cracks that box open and, causes Halloran to flip out crazy. Meanwhile, Polly and Leroy, they've separated off from the mission. And Leroy encounters his wife, Charlotte, in the sewer. And in my head, I was like, oh, earlier on in the episode, she had heard a TV report about that bus that was going to Shawshank. It had crashed, and Hank was out on the run. So I was like, maybe she found out where they were doing the mission, and then maybe found her way to her husband. But then I yawning a lot. It is late. I'm trying to get this puppy recorded and posted so I don't have to worry about it. I had thought, like I said, I had thought that she may have found out where they were doing the mission, but no, I slowly but surely realized this was the entity, Pennywise, basically playing all them games. And when the figure that is pretending to be Charlotte charges Polly and Leroy, Leroy shoots his wife, but of course, wife's not dead, and it goes back up the sewer tunnel. And Leroy basically tells Polly, look, whatever's down here, whatever it's that is not supposed to be down here, you shoot it. Doesn't matter. We cut back to the kids, and Maddie is saying that they're, relatively close to where the kids might be. But of course, the kids are all, very, very high on drugs, and, they're, wouldn't necessarily say tripping out, but they're just like chillaxed to the max right now. But they eventually come to where Maddie thinks the kids' bodies would be, but they're not there. But slowly but surely, they start popping up. Susie pops up, she's dead. Phil pops up, and he's dead. Teddy pops up, he's dead. But Maddie pops up, and he's also dead. Yeah, the entity was posing as Maddie to basically lead them down here, and this is where we get Pennywise for the first time. Bill Skarsgård showing up for the very first time in the series, and I love what Andy Muschietti said in the behind the scenes on this episode. It's like, I didn't want to introduce Pennywise in episode 1, 2, 3, or 4, because I wanted to build up to that suspense. Like, say what you will about, Muschietti as a director or as a, creative, because I know a lot of people, some people were mixed on It Chapter 2, and some people were mixed on The Flash, but you cannot deny that the man knows what he's doing in terms of, like, the horror sphere, because, like, this has been an absolute banger of a project so far, and we still got 3 more episodes, I think, left to go in this, and I'm very interested in seeing, like, where this goes. So, of course, Pennywise is chasing him. He's chasing him down the sewer, but Leroy and Polly hear kids' voices, and when Leroy sees his son come through that tunnel, Leroy immediately thinks, oh, this is not real, because my son wouldn't be here. Why would my son be here? But Polly, who didn't see Charlotte earlier because Charlotte wasn't there, Polly's like, no, I see them too. This is real. This is real. And he steps in the way of the shot. Leroy shoots, but Polly takes the bullet, and Polly passes away. The kids are able to escape, but while they were running away, Lily got separated from everybody else, and so she was basically cornered for Pennywise, for his taking, shall we say, and it looked as though Lily was going to bite the dust, but something stopped Pennywise, and he backed away. He's just like, he backed away, and it was that dagger that Daniel had dropped. And Lily picked it up, and the kids are definitely going to use it later on in this series. But Leroy gets out. He gives his, confession to, the document. The closed captioning called him an interrogator, but basically gives his side of the story, and gives the lowdown to General, and Leroy's just like so despondent about this. He's like, I just want to be with my family, and basically leave it at that. Well, he did ask another question. Did Halloran make it out okay? And Shaw says, there's one person that I know that can survive out there and be able to get out of those sewers. It's Dick Halloran. Sure enough, the episode ends with Halloran walking out of the sewers, but out of the corner of his eye, he sees another soldier. And it's Paulie. standing out, wandering around, and Halloran knows that something is wrong. And we cut to, his box that he saw in his vision, and that is Grandpa, Pennywise, had cracked open. It's now fully open. So what does this mean? Well, we're going to have a couple more episodes to figure that out. But yeah, this was an absolutely awesome episode. I loved watching it from start to finish. It was such a joy to watch. And like I said in the beginning, this series has gotten better and better and better. And I cannot wait for next week. But until then, guys, be safe out there and don't go down into the sewers, because God knows what you're going to encounter down there. You're going to encounter a lot of stuff. Creatures, trash, potential diseases, and on the off chance that you are in Maine, you could encounter a shape-shifting clown. So, word of advice, don't go into the sewers. It'll just, it'll just benefit your life greatly. And I will catch you guys next time.